Hello and welcome to this special episode of Diary of a Common Man. This is special episode. I would like to relive my journey so far. My journey, it did not start in 2021. It started exactly 10 years ago. In 2011, when for the first time in my life I suffered a crisis. A crisis that almost drove me to take my life. I happened to be a tough nut and I survived. Not only did I survive, but I did really well. At that time, the crisis was quite debilitating, but it was obviously manageable, and that's how I survived. Then, once again, I suffered one more crisis after that, which I also survived. The difference between the two crises was that the first one, I was an Aga Khani Murid, and the second one I wasn't. The point I'm trying to make is, crisis or no crisis, Aga Khan or no Aga Khan, life goes on. We used to pray to Aga Khan that, "Oh Aga Khan, please resolve all my difficulties." He never did. He had nothing to do with it. That is the point I'm trying to make. But the first seed of doubt happened during 2011 when this crisis actually happened, and I had a thought that why am I in this kind of a crisis after believing in Aga Khan, after being a practicing Aga Khani, after giving the religious dues. Why? What is the point of praying to Aga Khan when nothing happens? And I would like to meet somebody, one person who can come out and say to me that they benefited from Aga Khan's presence or his benevolence or his mercy. Please come forward. Then 2014 came, and it was this year that turned my life around 360 degrees, because it was this year that it all happened. I was appointed the Mukhi of the Fidai Majlis in my Sydney Jamaat Khana, and as a part of that Majlis, because it is a secretive Majlis, we have spoken about secretive Majlis where not every Murid gets to attend. You need to become a member and you need to pay a fee and you need to swear to secrecy, to keep everything secret. The proceedings, the farmans, the ginans, etc., the place where it is held, time that it is held, it is another matter that everybody knows everything, but you basically swear to keep everything secret. Anyway, the Huzur department conducts an induction. Huzur department is again the top secret institution of Aga Khan, which is responsible for a lot of different things, and amongst them, I think the main thing they do is to basically transfer the money from the Jamaat, wherever it is, to the Imam of the time. That is the Huzur department. So in this case, they were conducting an induction to train us as to how to conduct the Fidai Majlis and the live dedication Majlis and Nurani Majlis. and all the Mukhi Sahibs and all the other officials were basically invited to that induction. And in my Jamaat Khana, there was this gentleman called Mr. Malik Lalani, basically conducted that induction. All was well until this lady asked a question. I did not even dream that this question by an innocent lady sitting next to me is going to change the course of my life completely. And the question was, how do you admit a dead person into Fidai Majlis? Majlis is a meeting. This question may sound ridiculous to you. I know that. There are so many ridiculous things that you will start to scratch your head. But it is true that there are people who come to Jamaat Khana to have their deceased members admitted into various majlises. They start a trend, the system starts a trend, and then everybody joins that trend without thinking for 1 minute. They have no idea what they're doing, they just do what the trend is. Anyway, they come to the Mukhi of the Majlis and they say that I would like to have my deceased member admitted in the Majlis. So this question was related to that. So she was basically trying to ask Mr. Lalani what was the protocol to admit a person like that. Now, before I proceed, Mr. Lalani has no relationship with me. He was just an acquaintance in the Jamaat Khana. We never became friends because his way of thinking was very different to mine. It always was. But that is perfectly okay. He is an individual and he has every right to think the way he would think. But he was, in a nutshell, he was a politician. And I could never become a politician, nor did I want to be a politician. He still is, from what I hear. Anyway, good luck to him. He answered the question. The question was, how do you admit a deceased member into a physical living meeting? And he said, this is what he said, that admit them the way you admit a normal person. And to the lady, that was a satisfactory answer, but I was shocked. Something happened inside me right at that precise moment, as if there was somebody just shook me and it said there is something wrong here. So I did not want to ask Mr. Lalani that question in the middle of a meeting because it would have been a very uncomfortable sort of a question. Remember, I always talk about a stupid question. This would have become a stupid question, and stupid question is not appreciated in the system. So I thought better of it, but I still wanted to get the answer because something inside me was basically burning. And I took him aside during the break and I said, what do you mean by admitting a person, a dead person, into a majlis just like a live person? What do you mean by that? Because I even gave him a reason. I said that Aga Khan has given a farman that Fidai Majlis is basically established so that my spiritual children can be like those Fidai members who gave their lives. Fidai members are my soldiers and they can be called upon to go on a mission which is life threatening. So I said, if a person is dead, how is he going to participate in a life threatening mission? Mr. Lalani, and I'll be honest with you, he was as amazed as I was. We both stood there for a few seconds and he didn't know how to answer that question. And I'm so glad I didn't ask him in the middle of the meeting. And after a few seconds, he gathered himself and he said, I don't know. I don't know the answer. And he started walking away, and I stopped him. I said, hang on. Where are you going? I have been appointed the leader of this army, and I have been given soldiers. I can be called upon to go on a life-threatening mission, and I am the leader. And I've been given all these soldiers. There are about 500 soldiers, and some of them are dead. How do I take them on a mission, and how are they going to benefit the purpose? And he basically found himself in a bit of bother because I was insisting. And he once again said, I don't know. And I said, if you don't know, then you need to get an answer. And this is what they are not used to. They don't appreciate this. They don't appreciate somebody pushing a difficult question or a stupid question. These are questions that you're supposed to keep to yourself. It took him, he promised me that he'll ask somebody, it took him 5 weeks. And I remember that day very clearly. I was having a hamburger and the phone came and he said, I got the answer for you, Salim. And I said, what is the answer? And he says, Aga Khan has allowed deceased members to be admitted. And I remember telling him, Malik, I'm not happy. He didn't make a comment. I put the phone down. The next thing, I got the confirmation that I am being abused. This is a farce. And what Malik had said was a confirmation of that farce. All the dedication I gave to Aga Khan all my life, all the money, all the service that I gave to Aga Khan during my whole life, forget about everything that I asked for. I could not even get an answer to a simple question. And they say that a murid gets everything from Aga Khan. One person come out and face me, one person, and tell me what did they get. I did not even get one answer to one question. I resigned from Aga Khani system and I sent Mr. Lalani an email asking him to find somebody else as a leader, Mukhi of the Fidai Majlis. Unfortunate thing about, I don't know how would you describe those people, the leaders, but they did not contact me after I had resigned. Imagine this, a person has served your community for about 30 years in different capacity. All of a sudden he should leave, and the leaders did not contact that person and ask him what has happened. Why are you going? Why did you make such a drastic decision? Not one leader did, nor did the council. And I remember very clearly the president of the council, whose ultimate responsibility it was Mr. Azim Chunara, a well regarded man in the community, but a politician once again. I can bet you my last dollar that instead of Salim Lalani, if some powerful person or some rich person had left the system like that, leave alone the service of 30 years, even if they had not served at all, they would have been buttering them and they would have been calling them left, right and center, but I did not get a call. And it is important for me to tell you these things because this is how the religious, the spiritual practice, the esoteric practice of Aga Khani Jamaat Khana works. This is my own experiences, and I am pretty sure that there are many people out there who have similar experiences. But in any case, after a few months, another incident happened. This time a friend of mine came to me for some financial advice, and He said that he is in financial trouble. I helped him. We found out that he was paying about 20% or 15%, something like that, to Aga Khan. And basically I said to him that, look, why do you have to pay Aga Khan when your house is burning, you have issues in your family, there's domestic violence, children are being affected, your life has become hell, why do you have to give Aga Khan this much money? And he stood up from his chair, went to the door, turned around, looked into my eye and said, Salim, I will die, but I will not stop paying Aga Khan. Shut the door behind himself, and I was shocked. On that day I decided I will speak out. I did not speak out when I had resigned, but today, this particular day, I had decided that I will speak out. But before speaking out, I researched. I had no idea that my research will take me on a 6-year-old journey, 2014 to 2020. It took me to study not only Aga Khani's system and the cult, but it took me to study the roots of Aga Khanism, that is Islam and Ismailism, and it also took me to study Hinduism and Christianity and Judaism. And then I took the opportunity to learn a little bit of Buddhism and some other non-faith based systems. And I also listened to many people of different denominations and different thoughts. And finally in 2020 I had completed my research. At first I had decided upon writing a book, which I still do. I have the manuscript with me, but I just haven't had time to brush it up and send it to a publisher. But in 2020 I decided I will basically go on YouTube live, and so people can see me as a real person. And this was important to me, that I go live, because at that time there were many people, there were many YouTube channels who were basically criticizing Aga Khan and his system. They did not show their face, and nor do they do it now. I decided I will not fear anyone. I will speak my heart out, and I did. And it is only because I spoke my heart out, and it is only because I did not fear anyone, that this energy, some kind of energy is inside me, whatever you want to call it, has driven me to this day when I was able to shake up Aga Khan. And I'm still not finished yet, unless they finish me first. I have a lot planned for 2022 and the years to come. But anyway, when I had started, I took a massive risk. Not only the risk of life, but I knew for a fact that my community will leave me. I will have to get used to living alone. My family may leave me, which they did. All of them left me except for a couple of family members and my wife. They stayed with me. But it was going to be a massive shock to my wife as well. In fact, it would be traumatic. As far as she was concerned, I encouraged her, in fact, to go to Jamaat Khana if she didn't share my thoughts. If she wanted to belong to the community, she should. In fact, I took her to Jamaat Khana. I would drop her and pick her up, until a day came when she decided that she doesn't want to go anymore. Anyway, I took a huge risk, and I didn't even know it was not so much about the risk. I did not even know whether people will listen to me or not. There was this particular saying in Gita. I was watching this Mahabharat on television the other day for entertainment purposes, and there is a scene where Lord Krishna, he tells his student Arjun that, look Arjun, do what you have to do, leave the rest to me. In Mahabharat, Krishna is God, and that struck a chord with me, that one must do what one must do with good intentions, and we must leave the results to the divine, Allah, God, Bhagwan. Leave it to him. You do what you have to do. And I did it, and luckily people did listen to me, and here we are. I would like to talk about 2021. What an eventful year. I found myself in that year. I found a power that a common man has, and I would like to say to every common person out there, if they think they are common, that is, they shouldn't. You are not common. You are very special. Look into my eyes. I'm telling you, you are very, very powerful, because you have divine living inside you. There's no other powerful being than the divine. It is inside you, and that is why you are very, very powerful. All you have to do is to have good intentions. Do your deeds without fearing anybody, because as long as you have fear in you, the God, the divine, will not help you. This is my message to you. Wake him up. Don't fear anyone. And that's what I did. That's how I found myself. And in 2021, what happened? Actually, before 21, in November 20, I sent an email to the council in Australia and New Zealand, and I said that, look, I intend to publish a series of videos in relation to Aga Khan, and these videos may not be appreciative of Aga Khan and his system, and I'm required by my ethics, and not only the ethics but the law of the country, that I should make Aga Khan aware that I intend to do this. And I sent them a script of what I'm going to say, and they basically responded. Mr. Karim Sumar, the president, he said, why don't you send it to me and I'll forward it to Aga Khan. And he did. And then basically they ignored my thing, and I reminded them and they ignored me. Anyway, during all this, we met a couple of times, Mr. Sumar, and I met Mr. Chunara once or twice, and I basically demanded that, look, this is not making sense, and I would like somebody to answer my questions. And that was not possible, because my questions were all stupid questions, and they would not put up with them. Anyway, I was ignored, and I started posting my videos, and basically usually what happens is, when anybody does that, they know for a fact, the council, not only the council but the Jamaati members, they know that if anybody goes nuts like Salim has, nothing happens. That is true, nothing happens. The rebellion is crushed if it goes far enough. First of all, the rebellion doesn't happen because the intimidation from the council, the ignorance from the council, it is enough to shut somebody down. But so they knew that, look, it's no point communicating with this guy. He's gone stupid, he's gone mad, and it's best that we leave him alone. But in March of 2021, the videos took off, and they saw that I was getting so many responses and views, and those responses were coming not only from the Muslim community at large, but they were also coming from Ismailis themselves. And that is scary. That is very scary. I don't think they would have seen anything like that before. And it was no wonder that Mr. Karim Sumar, after 3 or 4 months, did decide to connect again. And he said that, look, he actually, the connection was this time a threatening letter. You might remember that letter, that Salim, you need to stop this, you are all wrong and we are all right, that kind of stuff. And he even accused me of spreading animosity in the community. And I basically challenged him to prove the animosity that I created, and I challenged him to prove me wrong, and he disappeared. He disappeared just like a mist, just like mist disappears in the afternoon sun. That's how he disappeared, until another few months, when things were getting out of hand, when they were becoming very, very uncomfortable with my videos, and they had never thought that the videos are going to make that much of an impact. So this time he meets me personally. The meeting doesn't go very well. Again, he came with the same traditional Aga Khani leader arrogance, that I am right and you are all wrong, and I told him where to go. Meeting didn't end very well, and that was the end of Karim Sumar as far as I am concerned. Then after, in October, the videos kept on. I relentlessly posted videos, and a point came when the Aga Khani system too uncomfortable to allow me to continue with my mission, because by this time the revenue, the religious revenue, was going down. And how do I know that? I know that because I have Aga Khanis and they report to me from around the world, and I keep a little spreadsheet of the Awal Sufro in a particular month, coming from a particular Jamaat Khana, and I've been doing that for a few months now, and I can see a dramatic decline in the Awal Sufro, and that is good news for me, not for Aga Khan. Not for Aga Khan. This is bad news, because if money goes like this, as it is, COVID has done its bit. Okay, people are not coming to Jamaat Khana. People don't come to Jamaat Khana, there is no money. So it is important that people come to Jamaat Khana, and people are listening to Salim, and Salim is providing evidence of the wrongdoing. He is providing evidence that this man Aga Khan is actually a con. He is a con man. He should be called an Aga Khan, not Aga Khan. Salim has proven it, and people now know for a fact, all the Ismailis know for a fact, that this man to whom they are praying is actually a con man. And these Ismailis, they wouldn't come out because of few reasons. One of them is, how do you accept that you have been conned? Do you want people to see a stupid label on your forehead? Educated people, does anybody want, any one of us want to stick a label like that on our foreheads? They will not come out. They're too ashamed. Like all of us are, in all walks of life, we have been conned by somebody or the other. But these people, educated people, and I'll keep repeating the educated people because they're very proud of their education. Educated people are very weak, fearful. They cannot admit that they have been conned. Some did, and they came out and they said, I'm going. They called me, they emailed me, They texted me, they put comments on the YouTube. We are not doing the bayat of our children anymore. Just be a good person. You don't harm anybody. That's it. Do what you want to do. When it became too much, Aga Khan had to basically take the legal route. But with the legal route, what would you do if somebody was to defame you like Salim did? Okay, Salim said Aga Khan is a con man. So what would you do if you are a respectable person, leave alone a spiritual person? What would you do? You would go to the court and you would say that, look, hang on, how dare you say this to me? I am a respectable man. But this Aga Khan does not have enough guts because he is guilty. He is an Aga Khan. How is he going to go to the court? And what is he going to say to the court? Is he going to say to the court that, look, this Salim man is calling me an Aga Khan? So court is going to ask him, are you an Aga Khan? And what is he going to say after that? He's going to say, no, I'm not an Aga Khan, I'm an Aga Khan. Okay, fine, call Salim in this witness box. No, Salim cannot come here. Because if Salim comes here, then he will prove it that this man standing in front of me is Aga Khan, and this is the reason why he is Aga Khan. So he did not do that. He sent me a letter from his lawyer, a letter that people laughed at. The whole world laughed at that letter because it basically admitted, if you read behind the lines, it admitted that they are scared. They are very scared. Not only for the money, not only for the revenue that is going down, but because of the Taliban situation in Pakistan. My Urdu series is causing too much distress. Pakistani Murids can be attacked any minute. And who is going to be responsible for that? And they said, Salim, you are going to be responsible. If my Murids are attacked, you are going to be responsible. That's what the lawyer said. That is Aga Khan said. And people laughed at that. You commit the shirk, Mr. Aga Khan, and Salim gets a punishment. And you want people to believe that. Who do you think the global community is? Do you think they are your stupid Aga Khani followers? Do you think they are zombies like they are in Jamaat Khana? They are not. The people outside the Jamaat Khana are not zombies. They are not educated zombies. That's what happened in 2021. He is now shaken. Revenue is going down. COVID has played its part. My contemporaries on YouTube channel, mind you, they may not show their identity, but they are doing their bit to damage the whole system. They are doing their bit, I am doing my bit. COVID has done its bit. Revenue has gone down. Aga Khan's businesses are failing. He is getting very, very old, fragile. Come out in the open, Mr. Aga Khan, for one last time and say that from this day onwards, there will be no cash transactions in Jamaat Khana. In fact, there will be no money transactions in the Jamaat Khana. The Jamaat Khana upkeeping will be supported by the donations within the Jamaat Khana. I will never receive a cent, and distance yourself, Mr. Aga Khan, from money, and then leave this world. In case Allah should forgive you for your crimes that you have done during this lifetime. of robbing poor people, of making fools of your murids, of making fools of the people around the world, of making fools of the governments around the world, based on your power, based on your wealth. Mr. Aga Khan, I hope you're listening to me. But some people are telling me that he's not listening anymore. He's too ill and he's too weak. The system is being run by the mafia. Mafia that is invisible. Actually, I don't know them personally and I have no intention of knowing them. But I hear that these people are running the system. Not only that, they're benefiting financially. All the money that the poor are giving are going into their pockets. But at the end of the day, remember, Aga Khan is responsible even if he is not in the picture. It is his doing, it is his game, it has always been his game. It's another matter he's old, it's another matter that the leaders, the commanders have taken over. But that happens with all the kings. One day the commander becomes too powerful. It has happened. Remember, in Imam Mustansir Billah's time it happened. Commander became too powerful. Anyway, that is the situation as in 2021. What do we have for 2022? I am having difficulty hiding my excitement, but it's going to be a productive year, exciting year, and unfortunately for Aga Khan, if he's still alive and if I'm still alive, it is going to be worse than 2021. I will not be able to share everything that we are working on. I am definitely intending to continue my YouTube campaign, and I know for a fact that although I am proactive on my YouTube, I am being heard and my videos are being watched on other platforms as well. And I have to thank you, my listeners and my viewers, for your support, all kinds of support throughout the year. Thank you so very much. So yes, I will continue my campaign. The other thing I'm working on that I can reveal is I'm working on producing a documentary on my work so far. Apart from that, we will engage the youth as much as we can, because at the end of the day, am I going to be alive for too long? I don't know. Somebody will have to take over, and who better than the youth to take over? So succession planning is definitely on my mind. That's basically all I can reveal for 2022. I will basically end this episode here. I thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. Each and every viewer, each and every listener, thank you. Each and every donor, each and every person who has given me so much moral support. Thank you. I will see you in the next episode. You take care of yourself and have a very, very prosperous 2022. Goodbye.